So hello and welcome to my first video. In this video I just want to show you how you can recover your password and change it if you suddenly forget it in your Linux machine. And yeah, let's get into the process. Before we actually do it, I just want to mention some points. First, you can see here, if I show you, you can see yeah, the proxy and the line here. I have it here. So this is the boot image that our firmware actually our bootloader. So the firmware, the BIOS or UEFI boots the bootloader, and bootloader runs the image kernel. So this is our image kernel for my machine, and this is its UUID, and it got some parameters here. So the key here is to change this parameter. So remember, the bootloader, when our grub, the bootloader search for the image kernel, it runs it with some parameters. So we have to change it and modify it in a way that we need to give us a root shell before the kernel itself runs, and give us a root shell so we can change the password from that. So another point I have to mention is if you reboot your system and you can't access the grub menu, you have to change the timeout setup in its config. So for that, you have to go to the etc default, and there's a file here, grub. There's a file here called grub. So we have to change it. We have to modify one of its directives actually. So I'm going to win grub, and here you have the grub timeout, and it's specified, its value is 0. We can change it to 5, so it's wait for 5 seconds, then it boots our system. So change it to whatever second that you need. 5 is okay, and after that you reboot your system. So I don't want to save it here. I'm going to run my Ubuntu server, and I press the escape key. So I assume you reboot your machine, and here the grub menu that I got here. So I press the E to edit the commands, and here I find a line that starts with Linux. So these are just some commands grub runs in its own specific syntax, and runs it and find the kernel image, and so it runs the kernel and put it into the memory, and after that the kernel takes all the process and it runs our OS. So at the end of this line we can see the Linux, starts with Linux, and you can see the kernel image that it boots. So I go to the end of the line here, I remove these parameters. We don't need them now, quite don't need it. So we came to these parameters that is read only, we change it to read write, and we pass the init parameter to it. So I go for init bin bash and with this parameter we can have the root shell, and yeah, so after that we save the setting by pressing the Ctrl X. Let's see. So now we have our shell and we can change it from here, and we have the root. So for example, my user was Mahdi, the user that I forget his password, and I can run passwd for Mahdi here. I add a new password, retype it, and my password updated successfully. And since the kernel doesn't run yet, we can have the init program yet, so I cannot use the systemctl program. So I can just power off the machine here and start it again. So I run the Ubuntu. And we have our user, so I type my new password and we logged in to our Linux machine successfully. So yeah, it's gonna run. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.